Should be getting settled. Check, guys.
Really proud of our guys' focus, getting ready and understanding what we needed to do to win the game tonight, but also have to really congratulate St. Peter's for being here, because I've said forever, you don't take this tournament for granted, and for them to do what they did to finish the season strong and get here is a real compliment to their coaches, staff, and players, and but just really proud of the way our guys prepared, getting ready for this game, and the way we came out in the first half and really played well defensively, and I thought we settled in on offense, but a good performance by a lot of different guys.
Okay, questions. Wait for the handheld mic, and these questions are for Jonas and Zakai first. First question.
Rob Lewis of VolQuest.com. Zakai, how good did it feel to be out there? I imagine you've been waiting 2 years for this night.
Yeah, man. I mean, it feels pretty good, you know. Job's still not finished, though. So we still got to handle Texas, but it's a good feeling to be back out there.
Second row.
Ryan Sylvia, Rivals.com. Zakai, just do you feel like it was important to have a win like this where you kind of leave no doubt to get back on track heading into this run?
Yeah, well, I feel like we had to get our toughness back, and tonight I feel like we did from the jump and the entire game. We kept our foot on their necks, and, you know, St. Peter's is a good team. They're a really tough team, so we had to match their toughness and just play like that for the entire game.
Rick Butler, Rocky Top Insider. Jonas, you had a couple shots fall early in the game. Just how important was that for you in sort of building that confidence early on?
For me, it was just staying aggressive at all times. You know, Coach preached that to me a lot, so it was just really staying aggressive with that.
Second row.
Wes Rucker, 24/7 Sports. Jonas, sort of a similar question. I know y'all always want to play inside out, but when you see the sort of size advantage that you had, did you just kind of really think like, okay, I really need to be aggressive early in this game?
I mean, of course, like I said before, Coach been preaching it. We've been working on it a lot in practice too, so, you know, just doing what we do in practice to the game.
Front row.
Zakai, anything stand out about Texas? I don't know if you've had a chance to look at them at all or see if their previous game.
Yeah, well, Texas, you know, they're a good team. We still got to come out strong. We still got to be ourselves and just be a tough team.
Okay.
Lauren Walsh, WSMV in Nashville. Zakai, I saw a stat that you're the first Tennessee player with a points assists double-double in the tournament in, I believe it said 50 years from ESPN. What goes through your mind when you hear that, and what does it mean to you to be part of history for the Vols in the tournament?
Yeah, well, it's a really good feeling, but I got to thank my teammates because wouldn't be able to do it without them making shots, so got to really shout out them.
Any other questions for the student athletes?
Oh, yeah, and Coach Barnes.
Any more questions for Zakai and Jonas? Okay, thanks, guys. You guys head back to the locker room.
Good job.
Good job tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, questions for Coach Barnes? Front row.
Hey, Coach, Thomas Jones of the Austin American-Statesman. Well, kind of two-part question. You've played Texas before, but now, you know, Rodney's their head coach. You guys have a good relationship. How difficult is it to play someone you have a good relationship with? And then the second part is, what stands out about this Texas team?
Well, one, it is tough when you are playing against guys that have helped, been a part of my career for a long time. He and Coach Haith, Chris Ogden, so many guys there that helped us while I was there and were a big part of our success there. So yeah, it's always tough when you do that because we all are close. We still, you know, we stay in touch with each other. We talk throughout the year. But when you look at them, the fact that you know, they one got one of the all-time great scorers that can get going, but I like their balance, and I haven't watched them a lot. I really haven't because I just want to allow myself to do that. I couldn't even tell you who's in our bracket right now other than when we came here, we knew it was the the three teams other than ourselves. But I have great respect for Rodney and Frank Haith and Chris Ogden, guys, again, and I know that they're going to be very well prepared, and it's never easy, but those guys probably know me as well as anybody, and they know how I think, and but I think if you ask both of us, would we rather be playing someone else, the answer would be yes.
To our right.
Aaron Beard with the AP. You mentioned you liked your team's focus, taking care of business, the way they came in. What did you, in the days leading up, I mean, I guess you don't always know exactly how your guys will start until they're out there, but did you see what you wanted to see all week leading up to tonight as well?
We did. That's a really good. We did, because you know what, we were concerned because our league. I mean, I truly believe we had the most competitive league in college basketball this year. When you go down the last week, when you could end up in a 5-way tie for first place, and we really went at each other, and I was concerned about how hard we all had to fight at the end of the year, all fighting for a conference championship. But, and you know, we'd lost 2 in a row, and one game, I'm not saying, I don't think we played poorly, but we weren't our best. And then we played probably maybe our second worst half of the season in the tournament, but came back, and again, I really admire and appreciate our guys. You know, we're very transparent. We watched the whole game and talked about where we lost our focus with our game plan and why we splintered and what caused it. And so, yeah, those guys responded when we went back out on the court and went to work. They did respond, and just proud of again, they were really focused with what we need to get done.
Third row.
Hey, Rick. Mark Cannizzaro from the New York Post. How would you characterize your defensive performance tonight, particularly against Corey Washington, and how much of your size advantage do you feel like that smothered them a bit?
Well, we do think that, you know, they're a team that, if you look at them, you know, they're really an inside two-point shooting team, and we worked hard on guard post-ups. We knew they were going to try to get there and back down, and we spent a lot of time not wanting to give them a lot of room to operate, and try to use our length when they wanted to pass out of it, make it hard for them to whip it to the other side. And I thought we really did a good job staying in those gaps early, and even when they run really good stuff. They're really well coached, and but we were focused on the details, and that was important. Then I do think our size has you know, helps us. There's no doubt in terms of deflections, trying to just take away those windows where they can whip it back to the backside.
Then follow up.
I do have one quick follow-on related a little bit. You had a pretty good long moment with Bash on when you on the handshake line. Can you share maybe the message you might have given him?
I just told him I think he's got a great future, and I thought he had done a great job. And what I'd say, getting to this tournament's hard, and when you get here, right now it's tough when you lose, because you know, believe me, they came into this game expecting to win. And there's no doubt with what they had done 2 years ago, and with a team that got it going here at the end, and you know, they hit us at a time when we played well. But I watched him, and as we were getting ready, and I'd met him years ago, I think when he was at St. Benedict's, and we talked about that for a second. But he's got a great future ahead of him. But his team's extremely well coached in the fact that he knows his team. He knew where he had to try to get them in spots to win the game, and that's where, back to your first question, I think our length was a factor for us.
Second row.
Wes Rucker with 24/7 Sports. Rick, with Tobey there, what happened when he kind of went out for a while with the leg, and is he all right?
Yeah, he's okay. You know, he felt like he had a little something with his, I think his right leg, hip up high or something. But yeah, we could have played him more, but you know, we decided not to, just to make sure, because you know, Tobey's one of those guys that sometimes he won't tell you the truth. He just wants to play so badly that we weren't going to take a chance with him, even though he felt like he could go a little bit more. They had kept him, I think, warmed up out there in the hallway a little bit, but he could have played more, but we just decided not to do it.
Third row to our left.
Lauren Walsh from WSMV4 in Nashville.
Yeah.
Hi, Coach. It seems like a bit of a nostalgia tour for you, back in your home state, now playing Texas. How do you balance some of the more sentimental things tied to your past with the task at hand to win?
Well, I've got great respect for my time at the University of Texas, and I've got dear friends that they'll be friends until the day I die. And like I said, great relationships with much of that staff. But I've been gone 9 years, and I'm a Tennessee volunteer. And the time I had there was, special because really there's a lot of people there that touched my lives, and we've had a lot of people that have left that program and done extremely well. But I think the good Lord for the, coming to Tennessee was a blessing. I maybe didn't know it at the time, but I couldn't have asked for a better way to be in a position where my career will end. And when we get ready to play, I can assure you that Rodney and his staff are going to try to win that game as hard as we can, and I can tell you we're going to try to do the same thing.
Front row.
Coach, I know you never know how it's going to go until the game gets started, but when you're in the locker room and you look around and the only guy in your rotation who has not played multiple NCAA games as a first-team All-American, how much confidence does that give you that your guys are going to handle the moment?
Well, we've talked about it, and I will go back again to the start of the year, our non-league schedule, going on the road, Michigan State, going on the road to Wisconsin, Illinois coming in, and Purdue, all that. But it's playing in our league where we were in hostile arenas all year, and our crowds were great everywhere we went. But honestly, to answer that question, you hope they respond well, but you're not sure until they get out there. And we kept trying to tell them to, have fun. You've worked hard to be here, and because you do worry about that. You do worry about when they step out there, because this is something all kids grow up wanting to play, be a part of March Madness. They all do. And we said, okay, you grew up thinking about it. Let's go have fun being here. You've earned it, and just be who we are. And so I really am proud of the focus these guys had coming in. I do think our older guys being here helps those guys too.
Take three more questions. Back of the room, right?
Thanks. Joe Rexor from The Athletic. Rick, were you happier with, the willingness to shoot when the shots were there from some of your shooters, and how important were the couple that Santi hit there in the game?
Well, I think it is important. And, I tell Santi, he impacts the game in so many different ways other than that shows up on a stat sheet. But I said, the one thing about you, Santi, all I want you to do is make the right play. If the right play is to shoot it, shoot it. And I thought he turned down one, the one he turned over, and I told him, I said, man, you shoot the ball. You made two. The right play is to shoot it, and that's all I want him to do. And the same with Jordan Gainey and all of them, just make the right play. And we got guys that we think can shoot the ball, and we want them to shoot it with confidence. That was something that we had echoed all week. We're going to take our shots. We're going to be aggressive. And, I just want to see them make the right play. And if it's to shoot it, just shoot it. And then we're in a position that, because we normally keep the floor spaced well, balanced well, that we can rebound the ball. It's when you turn down those shots when everyone's thinking you're going to shoot it, and they end up in turnovers.
Third row, left.
Rick Butler, Rocky Top Insider. Rick, what did you like from Jonas Adu tonight, and especially in those first couple minutes when he was able to see a couple early shots fall?
He was aggressive. I thought physically he was, Jonas can shoot the ball, and I thought he got to his spots. But again, I thought his teammates knew where he was, and we hit him with some ball screens, quick ball screens, and he got off of it pretty quick and got his feet set. Normally, when he gets his feet under him, he shoots a high percentage, but we need him to be aggressive, and he affects so much with his length on the defensive end. And I always tell him that you can do the same thing on offense if you just score before you get the ball, and that's mainly talking about footwork. And tonight I thought he was moving well and doing that.
Last question.
Rick, Mike Finger from San Antonio. In that decade that Rodney was on your staff, what did he do best, and what do you think he does best as a head coach?
Well, Rodney was a high school coach, and he grew up. You talk about a guy that's living his dream. His dream job was always to be the head coach at University of Texas. And, I had a chance to, I got a call from Frank Haith one day. Frank was my associate head coach, and he said we knew we needed to hire someone. I can't remember who had left. Somebody on our staff had left for a head job, but Rodney had been offered a chance to work for Kelvin Sampson the year before, and Frank asked me, he said, what would happen if Rodney took the job with Kelvin? I said, I won't hire him because of my respect for Kelvin. I said, Kelvin, I've known each other longer than I've known Rodney, and so if he goes to Oklahoma, I wouldn't even ask Kelvin to talk to him. And so Rodney, if I'm telling you right here, turned it down, and a year later we hired him. And he came in and worked extremely hard. I mean, a very detailed person, is going to dot the I's, cross the T's, and he's intense. He's a guy that's going to talk a lot about his teams being tough, hard-nosed, and but he did a lot of things, because the one thing that we've always done is, I've always told every guy we've ever hired, we're not trying to hire recruiters, but we want guys that do recruit, but we want coaches, and we want every guy to get up every day like it was his program and work that way, and Rodney did that. And I knew that he was going to do his job, just like all the guys that I've had with me, and he did a great job helping us win a lot of games.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you, guys.
Ernie Nestor says hi.
Yeah, tell Ernie I said hi.
He said the same thing.